Hello, everybody. Guess what day it is? It is Thanksgiving Thursday. And we are here one more time for the Question Live Show with your host, Verona Willis-Brown. Woo-hoo! We are in Child's Month. And of course, if you've been here, we are celebrating Child's Month this month. This is May, so I am having a lot of children's authors. So get your children. Bring your children in. It is good when you bless your child with a book. Yes. First, before we continue, I just want to make a confession that I have an addiction. Yes. And my addiction is reading. That's my confession for tonight. It's not about confession, but I want to confess before we go any further in this show. I have an addiction to reading, and because I do have an addiction to reading, I like to be here on Thursdays because I get excited when I see a book. My fingers, my eyes, my heart, just when I see a book and I see somebody else with a book, I get really, really excited. So that's my confession for the night. Yes, that's before we start the show. So welcome everyone. If you are new here, welcome. If you are not new here, welcome back. I see Cheryl, I see Shy. Welcome. So for those of you who are new, YouTube land, Facebook land, if you are new, we have house rules here. That's correct. I have 1, 2, or 3, maybe 4. 1, if you look up there, you see that word that says live. It is live in that red box. Simply mean you are in the live audience. And what happens when you are in the live audience? You share. You share with someone and call them in to sit in the live audience with you. Guess what? They could sit in whatever chair they have. Their seat is reserved in their house. Good. That's 1. 2, have yourself a pen. Have yourself paper or notebook. Why would I say that? Here we drop juicy contents and golden nuggets, and I would like for you to write them down. Simple. Write them down. The more you write things down and the more you look at it, it's the better it is for you. It triggers something in your brain. And 3, get something to drink. For those of you who've been here, know that I'm always having my coconut water. But tonight I am not going to have my coconut water because tonight we are having 2 guests. So I decided to come today with my smoothie because I am going to be relaxed and have my smoothie while they present. So if you have something to drink, please get it, whatever you drink. I don't know what is it that you drink. Maybe water, wine, tea, soda, juice. Hey, water turned into wine, right? So I don't know what is it that you drink. Whatever it is that you drink, please, by all means, go and get it. And let's have a good episode tonight. See, I would like for you to drink on behalf of me because I'm the host. I am going to be doing a lot of talking. So hydration is good. So I need for you to hydrate for me. See, 3 rules. Again, first one up there, live, share, and invite someone in the live audience. As I mentioned, tonight we are going to have 2 guests. So if you're ready, then we are ready. If you're ready, jot it in the comment section right there and let me know that you're ready. Because tonight, as a matter of fact, I'm right here. It's been a beautiful day. We have nice weather. Oh, Cheryl, you're freezing. I am so sorry to hear that. Maybe when tonight guests come on, you'll feel a little bit warm because I'm bringing in some sunshine. I had sunshine today. So if you are ready, type it there. Let me know that you are ready. So we could roll into tonight's episode. Type it in. I'll wait for you to let me know that you are ready. Have your drink, have your children, have your family, whoever you want to get while we're there in the live audience, and let's roll into May. Because tonight we are going to have story reading. We are going to talk about Are You Enough? We're going to talk about all this good stuff. So sit back, relax as I bring to you our very first guest, my sister, coming all the way from Mississippi. My sister, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. I am doing great. Welcome to the Question Live Show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, I said Mississippi. Well, I wasn't supposed to say that. I got excited because I think Mississippi is hot. And she was supposed to say that, but guess what happened? I got excited because I think that it's hot in Mississippi right now, and I want to go there.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
it's only 88. It's
Oh,
not too bad.
she said it's only 88. Can you mail me some?
Sure, sure. I'll send
Thank
it first
you.
class.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, 88. Cheryl, it's 88 in Mississippi. So you might want to get some over there. You might want to get some nice weather from there. So tell her, as I said, you're from Mississippi, so we're not going to ask where you're tuning in from. Just give us a little bit about who you are and the work that you're doing.
Okay. Well, as she said, my name is Jessica Starks, and I am from Mississippi. I'm an entrepreneur. I currently have two businesses, but outside of my business work, I do enjoy reading and writing. And so I'm excited to be able to be a published author. And today I'll be talking to you guys about my second book, which is Strolling with Stories, Tales from Horsepen. I enjoy genealogy. I enjoy being with my family, board games, old movies. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. Thank you.
Wow. See, I told you. Oh, listen, we have Sheila. Sheila, welcome back. Welcome back. Sheila is in Great Britain and it's chilly over there. So, again, Jessica, you have a lot of shipping to do.
I'll
Yeah.
send everybody some. Everybody.
Sheila, would you like to have some 88 degrees? Because we're doing shipping and handling. It's paid for. Don't worry about it. We got it. Just let us know that you need it and we are going to send it to you. Yeah. So again, you said you're from Mississippi and you like all that goody. You like all that research, don't you?
Yeah, I'm big into research. I love to learn. I've always been into learning new things and being exposed to different things. That's just my passion.
Oh. And it's good when we do research because the more we research, is the more we learn. And we have to learn to stimulate our brain and keep our brain going. You see,
Right.
sometimes we sit there and we just like put our brain to rest. But we got all these brain cells that we need to use up every single day.
Yep, that's true. If you don't use it, you'll lose it.
We might sound cliche, but it is true.
Hmm.
It is very much true. So your book is Strolling with Stories.
Yeah.
Tales from Horsemen. Is Horsemen a place?
It is actually. Horsepen is actually, if for those of you who are familiar with Mississippi, um, there are two counties. So there's Grenada County and Calhoun County, and Horsepen is right on the border between those two counties. It's a really rural area. It's trees and cows and more trees and more cows. Um, it's not much there, but it's where my dad and his siblings grew up, and we were proud to have that land in our family. My grandfather bought it. He was a sharecropper, and he was able to save up and purchase that land for his family, and we still have it. And so that's kind of where this story was built, was right there in Horseman.
Well, is your dad still alive?
Unfortunately, he's not. He passed away in 2019. He battled leukemia and he passed away. But we were able to work together because he told me these stories from when I was young all the way up. And so I was able to get him a journal one Christmas and he wrote them down. And sometimes we would go back and forth and write stories. And so while he was sick, I told him, I was like, you got to get better because we got to go ahead and get this book published. And we would be making plans. And unfortunately, he didn't get to see it published. But, I'm happy that I was still able to fulfill that wish for him and, continue that legacy. So I'm happy about that.
Oh my God. Like that by itself is such a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like such a blessing when you get that opportunity to get that history, right? And you go back into that. He's giving you stories from, okay, I grew up here, I did this, I did that. Like you capture that. It's like capturing that and put it like in like a bubble. But when you capture that, you just put that on, you put that in a book.
Right.
A book
Right.
is like forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the way I kind of tried to think about it was, because I do genealogy. And so when I'm searching for my relatives and ancestors, I'm having to look at these records. But now we have this that's published and people are able to go back and look for us one day, and there's always going to be that record there.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, like I really wish I had that opportunity with my dad. Like, gosh. And I'm like, okay. The main thing is that you did. And when you're carrying on a legacy, that's like a whole responsibility on you.
Yeah.
Like carrying, like you taking the baton, like I'm carrying the lantern. Like starting with that. So for those of you, let me see, those of you, if you didn't see the book, this is the book that we are talking about. Let me tell you, I look at that book cover and I'm like, I think I was just sitting by the grass or something.
Yeah, and actually, the illustration is kind of a depiction of Horseman because it's just a really long gravel road, and there's a lot of grass. There's a few houses, but it's a really country area, so there's grass everywhere. And then we have the bridge. It was a legendary bridge because it was always rickety. I can always remember, and I'm 27, so it's been rickety all my life. And they just paved it, so it's kind of like it's etched in time. But it's just the small things that I wanted to put on the cover,
Yeah.
just to keep that record. And even I don't know if you can see it, but on the back,
Mhm.
that's actually a depiction of the house that my dad grew up in with his 13 siblings. So just to have, those memories is always really good.
I don't even know what to say. I think I need to have my drink now. Oh, I didn't say don't tell you. I need to have your drink, your Pensy, whatever you gotta get. Because I have my drink right here. I have my smoothie right here. Because tonight, I mean, just to go back in time, because when you think about going back in time, they often said, oh, let go of the past.
Hmm.
You will oftentimes hear this. Don't dwell on the past. Let the past stay in the past. No.
Hmm.
How important is the past to you?
It's extremely important because I've always learned, and my parents always taught, we have to know where we came from in the first place. And, don't get me wrong, I get it. You don't want to dwell on it and you don't want to just wallow in it, but you still need to know what happened, why it happened, when, where, all of that stuff. Just so you don't repeat it, so you can be educated on it, you can advocate and help other people learn about it. So, yeah, it's extremely important.
So, audience, listen, we are not telling you to dwell on traumatic stuff, okay? We're telling you that if you don't know your past, you don't know your future or your present.
Hmm.
Because the past is where all the lessons that you need to learn and need to apply right now and apply tomorrow. So just the fact that you learn all these things about your dad, where he grew up, what he did, you're like, okay, I'm carrying this legacy. But by the time you get into tomorrow, that information is coming with you for you to branch off to a next generation and generation and generation. Oh, my great grandfather, that, and it just travel. See, that is happening. That's what life is. Life is a traveling journey. It's a journey. And we all have to travel on this journey. So we have to know what is it that we are traveling with on the journey. That is the whole point of life. We are going to say, drop off the past. Yes, drop off the pain. Let's not let the pain weigh you down. But let us learn what we need to learn and apply where we need to apply those so we can move. So we can move.
Right.
I look at the past like the past is like a big ocean, right? And in the ocean, you have the rocks, the fish, the trees, the tree roots, garbage. I mean, all this other stuff is in the ocean. And if you look at the past this way, and you have to say, okay, here goes the ocean, here goes this. What is it that you're picking from the ocean that's going to benefit you?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, what is it that's going to benefit me? Like, do I like to see the water just like flowing? Do I like to go in the water? Do I like to step on these rocks? And one thing, when you see those rocks in that water, it can't stop the water from flowing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No way, no how. Water will stop from rocks,
Yeah,
big or small.
that's true. It's gonna keep on going.
Cannot, like at no circumstances. And that's what you must look at rocks are. Rocks are like circumstances and situations. And when you see those, think of how you're going to flow. How you're going to continue to flow over those rocks. That water going to like it hit that rock. It's just like keep on flowing. Like, okay, you can't stop. And that is the whole thing, people. Don't let situations stop you, because those situations are rocks, little stone, pebbles, whatever, gravel. Those are situations, those are circumstances that you will face. Please think of yourself as water.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because that it reminds me again just how we got horse pen, because my grandfather was a sharecropper, and my dad was really big into like war history even as a kid. So he would go outside, he'd get some sticks and some rocks and like reenact these battles. And so one day the owner of the property went up to my grandpa and was basically like, well, y'all need to get out. And he was like, well, what happened? He was like, well, your son was playing outside and he was upsetting my cows. Now we know that's a really dumb reason, but at that time, they could do what they wanted, you know. And so my grandpa was just like, this doesn't make any sense. Now I don't have a choice. I have to move my family, but I'm not going to allow that situation to stop one, my son from being who he is. If he just likes war history, he likes war history. And two, I'm not going to let that stop me from providing for my family. And so that's when he went on and purchased the land that we've been on for all these years now. And if he would have let that one thing kind of stop him or discourage him, there's no telling where our family would have been. But by him saying, no, I'm going to stand up, for my child and for my family,
Yeah.
and I'm going to have something that we can be on and nobody can take us off of, and he can do whatever he wants on. Now we can still benefit from that today.
See, something like that is where you plant a seed.
Yeah.
That's where you put it, where you plant a seed. And if you plant a seed is like this big. Like no matter which way you look at it, it's like a seed is like this big, right? And when you plant a seed, you have an intent. Like, I'm going to plant a seed, and then you have a goal. And that goal is saying that that seed is going to sprout up. First of all, it's going to sprout up into a tree, right? And it's going to go into a tree. And then you think about, okay, what tree this going to be? Because a tree must bear fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And the fruit of a family are the children that's coming from generation. Like you are the seeds, you are the fruits, you are the one that's coming. So like your grandfather, you are like the seed, the fruit, right? And then that's the whole thing. When you go with an intent in anything, you must know where you're going with that intention.
Right.
What is it that you're expecting from that intention? Okay, sir, you don't want us right here, but guess what's going to happen? I am going to put my family over there because I intend for them to succeed. I expect them for them to grow.
Right.
Right? So he made a move, and that is the whole point in life. You got to make a move, but you got to have an intention.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to have an intention. You can't just like, oh, I just decided to just like do this. What is the intent? What is your why into doing what you are doing? And we almost know what is our why when we are doing something. Because your why is that big thing like, this tree gonna bear some good fruits.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's gonna bear some good fruit. So you have that. And you see, when you set your mind on something, keep on working on it. Work on it, and see. Because unfortunately, my condolences to the family. Your father did not see. He did not get to be here in the present moment to say, oh my God, that's the story we share. But you hold that dear because
Right.
you are the fruit. You are that fruit. And because you are that fruit, you're going to keep on going.
That's right.
You're going to keep on going because believe me, not one fruit bear from that tree. There's more than one fruit on that tree.
That's right.
Uh-huh. So, how important is it for a father-daughter relationship?
Ooh. Um, from my own
Let's support
personal,
you to that. So go ahead with that.
um, well, one, extremely important. All parents matter, but especially when it comes to girls, fathers are super important. Just from my own personal experience, the majority of my friends didn't have their fathers, so they thought it was weird for me to have my dad.
Mm,
Especially as a African American person, you don't see that all the time. And we have no boys. I have three sisters. We're just a house full of women, and he was the only man. And so a lot of people are like, "How do you take it?" He's like, "I just it's just what I do. This is my life. I don't know what to say." But he really taught us what a man is supposed to be like and how you're supposed to be taken care of, and even show that they can be vulnerable. And of course, he wasn't perfect, we're not perfect,
mhm,
but this is the standard we should hold other people up to.
mhm,
And then just seeing how people talked about him even after he passed. People would tell us, well, I was having a bad day and he did something silly to make me laugh. Or my dad had a garden. He was always giving away vegetables to people,
mm,
or just giving people advice and being like a father to others.
yeah,
And so he really taught us about, people look at life as being super complicated and all this, but some of this stuff doesn't matter. And it's really about how you treat people and how you live your life and the example that you set. And I think he really exemplified that, not only as a father, but as a person in general.
mhm,
Um, and just even going back to being a dad, that sets that standard for other people to be like,
mhm,
how am I raising my children? What am I instilling in them? What legacy am I leaving for them? You know, so I think if people have their fathers in their life, don't don't belittle that,
yeah.
because it's a
Don't take
lot
that
of
for
people out
granted.
here who don't have their dads,
Yeah,
and it's so important. So if you have your father, really be thankful for him being there for you, because it's a lot of people that wish they had that.
And I was going to ask the next part of the question, like, how has the relationship with your father impacted your life? But I think somewhere you answer that somewhere in.
Oh, yeah. And then even in that, he gave me writing because my dad was also a writer. He did poems. He would write songs. He wrote a ton of songs for my mom, and so he really instilled that writing gene into me. So yeah, if he wouldn't have done that, I probably wouldn't be here.
Listen, Daddy, we celebrate you, and we celebrate your fruit. Your fruit is flourishing. Okay, she's flourishing. She's doing great, and it's so good that I celebrate you. I celebrate what you're doing on behalf of the legacy of your dad.
Thank
You
you.
know, carry the torch, carried being proud that you got that opportunity to share those moments with him and to share the moment that you shared with him. It's written.
Yeah,
It's written. And that makes a big difference. Because right now, so many people would like to have a story to say, my dad told me this, or my mom told me this.
right.
So I want to celebrate you for this. Audience, if you do have questions, please jot them in the comment section and have them ready because I am going to ask Jessica to read from her lovely book. So again, let me tell you, I told you, I come right here. I got my drink right here. Tonight I'm having smoothie because I'm going to have Jessica read from her book while I sip my smoothie. So, Jessica, before you start reading, let us know where we can get your book and how we can follow and support you.
If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook at Jessica Starks. On Twitter at Jessica Starks. My handle is JSKA94. And I'm also Jessica Starks on Instagram. And if you're on LinkedIn, you can catch me on LinkedIn. I'm Jessica Starks too if you're there. If you want to order a copy of the book, you can get it from Amazon, Walmart, Target, Barnes and Noble, all those great places online. You can also go to my website, jdscribes.com, if you want to order a signed copy.
People, that's it. A signed copy is very important. I just want to squeeze that in there. I just wanted to just put that in there. A signed copy is very, very important that you need to have because by the time Jessica fruit, bear, we're going to follow her to say we got a signed copy of your we got a signed copy of your book, girl. Yes, by the time the fruit are mature, we're gonna like, excuse me. Yes, we know that.
Right. I saw it first right here.
I saw her first right here on the Question Live show. Yes, and I got the book while she was on the show. Thank you very much. So, Jessica, we are going to allow you to read to the audience and myself, of course. So, take it from here.
Okay. So, the portion that I'm going to read to you guys from is the prologue. Just a little background. The reason I'm going to read from the prologue, the book has several short stories in them, and some of them are like anybody can read them, children, young adults, all that great stuff. But just so you kind of have a background of what we were doing, my dad, all that stuff. I'm going to read you the prologue, and then I'll kind of give you an idea of what you'll expect. Okay. Another Saturday, I thought to myself, another Saturday traveling down this road. I was miserable as I stared out of the back of my dad's Ford F-150, gazing at the endless highway that leads to Horse Bend. Horse Bend is a small Mississippi community where my dad grew up and my family still lives. Horse Bend was the kind of town that most people assume all southern states are like. Dirt roads, cows, trees, and zero cell service. Just your classic country community. Don't get me wrong, I love seeing my family and I appreciated being able to visit the land that my granddaddy worked so hard to purchase and keep in our family. I just hated the drive. But my dad said that we can't forget horse pen, so every Saturday, my mom and I got in the car and took a miserable trip with my dad to horse pen. When we finally made it, we did our usual thing. Everyone gets out the truck and greets the family and the random old man who came by for a beer and a good laugh with my uncles. My mom and I go inside to talk with my aunts. My dad comes in to speak and heads back outside to talk, barbecue, and listen to music with the men. And we followed this usual routine for the first few hours of the trip until my dad decided to switch things up on me a little bit. Onion, Dad said to me as he walked inside the house. Side note, he called me Onion. That was my nickname. Come on, let's go for a walk. My dad was a quiet man, and he didn't say much of anything unless he had something he felt was worth saying. I, being naturally quiet like him, was totally caught off guard by this request. Two quiet people walking on a country road on a random evening. I wasn't sure if I was in trouble, he wanted us to exercise more, or if he was going to whack me and leave me under the bridge like my uncle did his car years prior. But I got up anyway, interested to see what his walk would turn into. And so we began. We walked down my granddaddy's long, dusty driveway and started on the rock-covered path. The first couple minutes of our walk was fairly quiet, the sound of crushed rocks colliding with our shoes and Dad's casual sips of Miller High Life breaking the unexpected silence between us. After a few more quiet moments, my dad started. Onion, I know our trips down here aren't exactly the most exciting part of your weekend, but I want you to really understand why our trips are so important. I know you don't want us to forget about horse pen and where we came from, Dad. I get it. I didn't want him to think that I didn't appreciate him bringing us here and having us around our family. Yeah, that's true, and I'm glad you know that, but I don't know if you quite understand just how rich our history is and how you and your sisters can continue that legacy. And since you've been doing our family history, I think now is the right time to fill you in on some history. What do you mean, Dad? Come on, my dad said, grinning at me with his gap on full display. I have a few things to show you. Um, and in the book, I'm not going to read the rest of it just because if I do, that's going to give it away. You'll learn about the different things that come out of horse pens. Um, I can't say they're all true because this was my dad making up stories, but you'll get to learn about the different things that came out of horse pen, and you'll also get to see little snapshots of my family and them in horse pen. Thank you. Uh-oh, you're on mute.
Uh, yeah. Yep, I was sitting right here. Yes, ma'am. Because I was right over there in the horse pen. Yes, 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 ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I love it. I love it. I love it. No, you're not going to read no more because we want people to go out and get the book. And the links are in the chat. The signed copy right there. If you want a signed copy, please go by JD Scribes and you get a signed copy. And I told you before she start reading, it's good to have a signed copy. Yes, it is very good to have a signed copy of an author's book because this fruit is going to mature and you're going to remember when she was right here. Mm-hmm. And we're going to like, oh, that's Jessica. Yeah, that is the Jessica. Yes, indeed. So please go out there and get a copy of the signed copy of the book. If you buy it on Amazon, you're not going to get a signed copy unless you're going to find where Jessica lives. And then you're going to like, oh, can you please sign my book? Right now, we are telling you, go ahead and get the signed copy. And so we can continue to support Jessica's history and just hold up her history and carry the legacy with her dad. So one final question for you, Jessica. What age group is this book for?
This age group, I mean, the group that this book is for really could be for anybody.
Okay.
It can be young or old. Anybody can learn from it. Anybody can enjoy it. The book covers, I'll give you an example. So, my mom was a teacher. So some of the things that I wrote in the book, I had her in mind because she was always about, you kill a couple birds with one stone. So
Yes.
the book covers, it has different descriptions so kids can learn about their colors, learn about descriptions, use their critical thinking skills. It covers all that in the book. And it also teaches things about history. So I'll give you kind of a quick thing about one of the stories is called Crazy Mule. Now, Crazy, Crazy Mule, my dad said, was the great grandfather of Crazy Horse. And Crazy Horse was a real person. For those of you who don't know, he was a Native American leader and he was big on preserving tribal land. And Crazy Mule was from Horse Pen and he protected our property.
Oh,
So that's one of the stories in the book. Now, I'm not going to have it where your kids are going to go to school saying that Crazy Mule is a real person,
yes.
because in the back of the book, I actually have a section where you can read about the real people.
Okay.
So you'll learn about who Crazy Horse actually was. He has a portion about Star Trek and Soul Train in the book because he said they all came out of Horse Pen. And it has the actual information so you can learn about these different places. Um, and so you'll get to, kind of see um, the real from the fake. Some things I later on learned he was telling the truth. I don't think he knew he was telling the truth, um, but he was. And it's also great for those who are genealogists or like me. I started genealogy when I was 10.
Wow.
So for people like my age doing it, it's a really helpful resource because I do, like I said, I have pictures.
Yeah.
Um, that's my dad right there, right there, and that's my great uncle. And they're in Horse Pen, and they were faking like they were fighting each other. But you'll be able to see different pictures like that. And so you'll get to learn about the family and family history. So yeah, I think it's a really good book. I hope you guys will pick it up.
All right. Thank you. And we have Sheila right here. Sheila already put that she's going to check it out for her nieces.
Oh, thank you, Sheila. I appreciate that.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Yes. So, audience, that is my sister Jessica, all the way coming from Mississippi. I'm going to, before we bring on the next guest, I'm going to tell you a story about Mississippi because
Okay.
Mississippi was the very first big word I tried to spell.
Really?
Yeah. And I got punished a lot of times trying to spell that state. So I don't know. I want to go there, but I don't know. I might be traumatized going to Mississippi. I don't know, sweetie. I
Yeah,
don't know. But that was my very first big word
that's
I
funny.
learned how to spell. And
And
the
a lot
very
of
first time I
people
spelled
where I'm from, where I'm from, I'm from a small town called Pontotoc, and a lot of people struggle with that. So I can only imagine if you had to do Pontotoc.
I think I still try to spell Mississippi. I'm like, what? I think I'm missing like two S's somewhere. I don't know. I don't know, honey. Yeah. So that's another confession I want to make on tonight's episode. Yes, I have to make some confession here. That's another confession that yeah, spelling, but now I don't have a problem. That's why I try to tell you I have an addiction to books. So I live and learn. I live and learn. I'm still struggling with Mississippi, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm all right. Yeah, I'm good. But Jessica, darling, thank you so much for gracing us with your work and whatever you're doing. I want to celebrate you for whatever is it that you're doing out there. Continue to be that fruit. Continue to be that fruit where you're seen. You're seen. Because sometimes a fruit is hidden underneath the leaves and all that stuff. Continue
Yeah,
to be the fruit where you're seen. I
thank
like to tell my guests when they show up on this show that right here, there's a seat, and this is a guest chair. This guest chair is saying that you are now a part of the family. You're not a fan. I don't like fans. I like family. You are now a part of the family. So therefore, you are welcome to come here anytime that you wish to come. Knock. I open the door like mama and like, hey, come on back. Come on home. This is your space. Whatever is it that you're out there doing, we would like to support you one way or the other. So you are welcome to come back here any single time you want. Just let me know. I open the door.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So that's like a key, giving you a key, like, oh, here's a key. Or I'll just tell you where I hide the spare key. Yeah. So again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in, audience. No, not tuning in because we still have another guest coming up. Jessica, I want to thank you so much for gracing us with your presence and with your work. Continue to do a wonderful job out there. And your Father Spirit is smiling to say, look at my fruit.
Thank you.
So go on with your bad self and keep on doing what you're doing. And look, I hope to see you in Mississippi. Hello, everybody. I'm in Mississippi right now. How about that?
Yeah, just come on. Just come on.
Just come on down. I'm there. I'm there right now. See, technology is a good thing. Don't use it for wrong thing, people. Technology is a good thing because right now we're sharing space. So again, Jessica, thank you so much, my sister, for being here as we pause and wait for our next guest to come on. Audience. I told you tonight. I told you two guests for tonight. So if you have not had your drink yet, please go get it. And if you have not shared the live yet, please do so. And if you have not have your writing tools, please do so. As a matter of fact, if you don't have a pen or paper, guess what? Your devices. There are notepads in your devices. Use them. Exactly. So while we are getting that together again, those are just the rules I just went over again. Again, share, tag a friend, call a friend, invite the family. Come on in the live audience. Nothing like the live audience. But if you will watch this and replay, just hashtag replay. Because if you watch this and replay, you're not going to see live. Ding. So with that said, let's take a breather. As we take a breather, I am going to welcome my next guest. Yes, I am going to welcome my next guest. Well, you know what? I'm not going to tell where my next guest is coming from because I got so excited with Mississippi. I don't know where she was coming from. So tonight, I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to come on in. She's knocking. So let me not say no more. Yes, let me not say no more. And I'll bring my sister in to you, my dear audience. My sister Danielle.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, that's always my first question to my guests. How are you doing, truthfully?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I love Thursdays. Even if I'm having a bad day, when it's time for the show, I'm like, oh, forget that.
Yeah.
I get really excited on Thursday because you know what? I get to see what everybody else is doing. I get to celebrate what you're doing. I get to celebrate who you are as a person. I get to share space with you, right? I was just in South Carolina. No. I was just in South Carolina, so I had to take a break. And then now, because I won't tell where you're tuning in from, I'm going to give you that opportunity to tell us where you're tuning in from and a little bit about who you are.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Danielle Tennison. I'm from Bluffton, South Carolina. And I am a published author. I have one book out. It's called Know You're Special. I have it here with me. Know You're Special. As you see, the little girl, she has crutches. That's because I was born with a birth defect called spina bifida. And the little girl was me when I was probably about fifth grade. Like I said, I'm from here in Bluffton, South Carolina. I'm a mother and pretty much a stay-at-home mother right now. I like to spend time with my family And I'm a homebody, but I get out as much as I can. And I wrote this book, not even knowing that I wrote the book. It was a rainy day here in South Carolina, and I was at my mom's living room table, and it was raining really bad, thunderstorm, and the words just started coming to me, and I yelled to my daughter to get me a paper and pen because the words just started flowing, and I began to write. And by the time I started writing and I finished writing, I'm like, wow, I just wrote a book. So I wrote the book not even knowing I was going to write a book. And so that's how I got Know You Are Special. And like I said, I was born with a birth defect called spina bifida. And just to explain what that means, it's a birth defect where the baby's spine is open at birth. And it depends on where the spine is open, how severe the spina bifida is. And mine is open pretty much at the lower back. And I went through surgeries, a major surgery to have my back closed at birth, and I stayed in the hospital for 31 days. And then when I came home, I had other surgeries. But right now, I'm in a wheelchair. I can move my legs, but the wheelchair is a lot easier for me. Um, and so it's like I'm using my wheelchair, but I did walk with crutches, and I hope that Know You Are Special will let other children like myself know that just because you have a disability, whether you walk with crutches, you're in a wheelchair, you wear glasses, you stutter or whatever, just because you have that disability, it doesn't mean that you're nothing, because we are all beautiful in the eyes of God, and He loves us just for who we are. So I really want to just get my book out to not even children. It's for adults as well, because they need to know that they are special. And because they went through what we because we have disabilities, we can teach the younger generation, is what I'm saying. I'm sorry. And that I didn't have a book where a little girl looked like me or had a disability like myself. And with Know You Are Special, getting around to different states, different countries, this can be known that just because you have a disability, you can do anything and you are beautiful in the eyes of God. Thank you.
Audience, I told you to get yourself something to drink. I told you. I told you. This is how we're doing Child's Month. Child's Month celebration is rolling in on this show. This is how we're going. Exactly. Welcome, Ashley. Welcome, Brooklyn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Exactly. Let me see some clap, clap emoji rolling in. Yes, that is what we're talking about. I love the book. The book is called Know You're Special. Oh, I'm special.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Listen, okay? And you are special, Sister Danielle, darling.
yes.
Yes, I celebrate you. Let me tell you something. Sometimes we don't know what we the potential that we have, and just how you sat there and all of that just flow
Mm-hmm.
on out. All of that was inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
But what we oftentimes do, we took all the flaws, all the things that the obstacles in front of us, and we kind of like lock ourselves in, and we limit ourselves because we are limited. Like you mentioned, you're in a wheelchair, right? So that's like limitation. So
Right.
somehow when we limit ourselves physically, our mind is limited just the same way. We limit ourselves mentally just the same way. I'm in a wheelchair, so therefore I can't do,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm walking with the crutches, therefore I can't too. But it's the opposite. When you're limited in one area, try to let the other area grow.
Right.
Let something else grow. It's like I just had an episode where I'm like, if you're barren, unable to bear a child, bear your gift. Bear your gift. So no matter which way you look at it, because disability is like a limitation, right? In the eyes of man, disability is supposed to be a limitation. And I like that. I like that title of the book. Know you are special. At what point, before I even go anywhere, this is the book. This is the book. I want you to take very close look at this book because I see a little crown on the little baby head, because she knows she royal. And she's just strutting. So that's little Danielle, just to let y'all know. That is little Danielle right there. Danielle, darling.
Yes.
So this is my first question to you. Audience, if you see me keep on doing like this, is because I'm taking notes. What I told you to do, I am taking notes. Okay, I'm taking notes. So you're going to see me keep on bopping my head because my notebook is right here and my pen is right here. So I'm going to do like this. Yes. So you're supposed to be writing something too. Not you, Danielle. Audience, please make sure. Yeah. Usually when we hear this word special, you're special, there's a negative connotation to that. Oh, you're special. Are you in special ed? You're taking the special bus. You're not special because special never gives you a positive outlook in life. You're the special child. Oh, yeah, that one is special. These are few of the things that you will hear imply to certain set of people. You are special. Oh, your child is special. So those are negative connotation that's always applying to someone that's special. However, your book says, know you are special. At what point did you know that you are special?
Honestly, I always knew that I was special because my family taught me that I was. And I believe in God. And I know that God made me, so therefore I'm special. But in reality, I didn't accept the fact that I was born with spina bifida or that I had spina bifida because I didn't want to accept the fact that I was different. And so, like, I would say, like, within the last 5 years, I realized that I'm okay with having a disability. And I am special. And not negatively, but I'm special in a positive way. I'm special in the eyes of God.
Yeah.
And he sees me as his child. And therefore, I need to know that I am special.
And you said something just now. And the word that we need to gather is different. That's the word. We need to gather in our vocabulary, in our space, in our mind, that we're different. All of us are different. No one on this planet is the same. Whether you're born with open spine, closed spine, one spine, two spine, three, whatever it is that you're born with, 1 finger, 2 finger, 10 fingers, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is we are different. We are totally different. I am not Danielle, and Danielle is not Verona. Danielle is not the guest that I had earlier. Danielle is not Jessica. Danielle is Danielle. So what we have to learn to do is to accept that we are different. So when we see different, /special, /special. Because at the end of the day, it was a special creator that created us. So let's see if we can say, all right, Lord, this is how I want you to design me. Yeah. If you think your parents had a say, would you think they would say, God, design her this way? Would you think if your parents had a say? What would they go to God and say?
Make her special.
Make her special. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's it. Make her special. Give me a special child. Bless me with a special child. Oh, she look at this like, oh my gosh, she's so special. She's so precious. She's not looking at the fact that your spine are open and you're gonna need surgery to close them, that you can't walk and all that stuff. She's not looking at that. But society often does this. They sit and they look at something physical and they define who you are. And they add on to the limitation of what you are capable of doing. That's society. That is how society sees us. I mean, they judge us from the color of our skin. I mean, come on now. What else could they not judge us from? Okay. So, how do you see a person? I mean, you're in a wheelchair. What happened in society today is we fail to accept our flaws, right? Do you see disability as a, how would you see how would you define disability? Let's just say, how would you describe disability, or how would you define disability?
In my own words,
Yes.
disability is something that we all have. Just because I'm in a wheelchair, it's visible. Whereas just looking at you, I don't know you personally and I don't see anything, but that doesn't mean that you don't have a disability. We all have it. Like I use an example, if you wear glasses, that's something, but you can also wear contacts and no one will ever know. So therefore, that's a disability. Whether it's labeled as a disability or not, it's a disability. So it's something that we all have, and some are more visible than others.
Mm-hmm.
And some people can hide their disability more than others. Like myself, I can't hide mine, whereas someone that has another issue or another disability, they can hide theirs. So it's just something that we all have. And because we have it, that's what makes it even more special.
Yeah.
Because God knew that we could handle it and allowed us to have it.
Of course. Of course. He's a creator. So
Yes.
everything that we are right now, he already knew before we even got conceived.
Yeah.
Before whatever you're going through right now, before your parents met, he knew.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to learn to accept what it is for what it is.
Right.
Yeah. And I think you just went over something. I just write something, and I think you just like went right to it before I even asked it. Okay, don't be all right. But I'm still gonna ask it. I'm still gonna put it out there. Many people today, they do a lot of cover up. They do a lot of cover up, and I am going to use the word again, flaws.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use another word, failures. And I'm going to use another word, faults. 3 words. And a lot of people, majority of people, cover these 3 things up. They walk around, and even if they have a broad nose, they want to straighten their nose. They got big boobs, they want to reduce their boobs. They got little boobs, they want to increase their boobs. They got no booty, they want to get big booty. You know? All these things, they want to make adjustments. They want to make adjustments. And I think, no, I don't want to think. I believe, because I don't do a lot of thinking and stuff like that. I believe this is what happened. When people do all this cover up, they refuse to accept who they are.
Very true. I agree.
They refuse to accept the real self, to acknowledge that, okay, I have this, I have this, I have this. Okay, it is there. Now, let me see if I can adjust my way of living to accommodate that, to work my way around it. But don't get rid of it because you want to fit in society. Cover it up because you want to fit in society. Because now what happened? You become an imposter. Because you're not being your real self. You're not being, everybody, disability and disadvantage are not obvious like yours. But they are there. We have them. But no, we cover them up. No, I don't want to be that. We bleach out our skin. No, because I don't want to be black. That's a disability. Disability of the mind. That's a disability, because you know what happened? We have so many disabilities that's in the mind. Where we set our minds, that can determine a lot of things. And today, and I think yesterday I was on a group and they were talking about body shaming. And it hurt me to know that these children are struggling with their bodies because they don't want to accept that they're special. You are special the way you are.
Right.
The way you are special. And we have to learn to deposit these things in a young person, a younger age. Get it in their head like really, really early that you are special. Really, really. What would you tell a child? Because that child on that book cover, the very young child, what would you tell a child right now who has a disability? Could be physical, visible, or not. What would you tell that child right now? If you're looking at that child right now in this camera, what would you tell that child?
I would tell him or her, just because you are going through what you're going through, don't let it stop you. Keep going, keep pushing. And me, myself, I have a disability. I have spina bifida. And here I am, 38 years old now. I wasn't supposed to live to be 5, but here I am, and I'm still going. And I need you to know that you can do anything you put your mind to. Just reach out to those that are around you, that love you, and that can help you. And you can soar so high. Just go for it. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let your situation, your disability, don't let it stop you. Just keep going. And you say when you want to stop. Don't let anyone else tell you to stop doing what you're doing, because it's your world and you're living with it. So therefore, you stop when you want to stop. And if you don't want to stop, don't. Keep going and just know that you are special and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Period. Period. And I'm not in the classroom, so period with a T at the end. Period. Yeah. Exclamation sign at that too. Yes. So Danielle, before I go to the next question, because I have to be writing while you're going, and I have to be sipping my smoothie at the same time. So, where can we find this book? How can we support you on this journey?
Okay. It's on Amazon. It's on www.giftfromabovepublishing.org, Barnes and Noble, Lulu.com, Apple, and you can also get it from my personal website where you'll get a signed copy. Everything else you won't get the signed copy. But if you go to bigcartel.com, and I'll make sure it's in the chat. You can order there, and I can send it out to you, and it will be autographed.
I told you. See, I don't tell you, autograph book are very important. Yes. See, my two guests tonight comment saying that they got autograph copies. I love it. Yes, please get your autograph copies. It is very important that you have an autographed copy of a book. Like I mentioned before, the seed, the fruit of a tree is right here. And when Danielle go and her fruit is bearing and she's just going, we're going to remember Danielle was right here on the Question Live show. And we're going to remember that we ordered her book and we supported her. And we're going to like, hey, Danielle, you remember us? Yes. She's going to remember us because we're going to remember her. Danielle. So let me ask you this. Because let me put this book up again because I don't know. This book that's real cute. Okay. So if you don't know what the book look like, yes, that's the book. That's the book right there. Mm-hmm. And you can get a autograph copy. Danielle, quick.
Yes.
How has writing this book impacted your life?
It has impacted my life more than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Because it's actually reaching people, and people are coming to me, letting me know that I inspire them. And writing the book, like I said, it's about me, probably about 5th grade. And so therefore I had to think back to 5th grade, and I had flashbacks. Like I remember when, and I'm like, I made it through so much. So it's impacted me a lot.
Yeah.
Because like if I was to go on to another portion of life and to write a book, I'm like, I made it through that, so that's why I am who I am today. And it's impacted me a lot. Like I'll be in my room and I'll pick it up and I'll just read it. And I'm like, wow.
Like you did
Wow.
that.
Wow.
You did that. You did
Wow. Yes. And it's been out a little over a year and a half now. And so therefore it's still new to me and I'm still in shock. But I'm like, wow.
that. Yes.
And it really helps people. So it's impacted me a lot.
An audience, ooh, she's gonna read from that book as we are winding down the episode, but she's gonna read from that book. And while she's reading from that book, get yourself sometime. You still have time to share this live because we're winding down the episode anyway. So, Danielle, I'm gonna put you right out. So you're gonna read a section from the book. You don't gotta read a long section, just a little snippet from the book so they could know the content of it.
Okay. Okay. When mommy wakes me up, I feel good. I am happy to go to school. You see, I walk with crutches. They help me to walk because I was born with spina bifida. I don't feel like I fit in with the other kids, but I know I am just as special. And the pictures are awesome. My illustrator is really good. So I'm going to share the pictures. When I get to school, I see all my friends. Some of them even want to help me. Someone will ask to help me with my book bag, and someone will ask me if they can help me carry my lunch tray. My teacher is really nice too. She helps me to understand the work that she gives us. When it's time for recess, I get really excited. I love to play kickball and let my friends push me on the swings. This is when I feel like the other kids. I fit right in and we are all having fun. and I'm not going to read any more from the inside of the book because it's pretty short, but I'm going to read the back of the book. It's just letting you know a little bit more about myself. Know You Are Special is about Shay, a precious little girl born different. Shay has spina bifida. Even though she was born different and did not feel like the other children, she loved going to school. Shay's friends helped her and made her feel loved. She was just like them when they were together. Now that's what you call real friends. And just to know, my daughter's name is Don Shay, and I call her Shay. And her name is actually the character inside the book. And I'll show you some pictures. That's me and my daughter right there. And some more information about myself. I'll read that in a minute. About Danielle. Know You Are Special was written by Danielle Denise Tennison. Danielle is a native of Bluffton, South Carolina, a graduate of Hilton Head High School, class of 2002. Born with spina bifida, Danielle had to grow up walking with crutches, starting at the age of 4. Currently, Danielle uses a wheelchair to get around. I hope reading this book inspires you to love who you are and love yourself as God loves you. Love, Danielle. Thank you.
Audience, I hope you're out there. Danielle, darling, yes. I don't think I want my smoothie anymore. I think I won't. Right. I don't think I want my smoothie anymore, after all. Yes. 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 Can I get some clap emoji? Yes. Yes. And that book is needed. It's needed. Because a lot of people out there, they might not be in a wheelchair, but they're going to need this book to change up their mindset. What age group is that for, you said?
I actually have a little cousin. He just turned 6. And he started reading. We will show him the book and he can actually read it. And so from, I'll say 5 and up, or even newborn, because babies can be read too.
Yes.
And they can start from there. And in this situation, if they have that situation or they have a disability, they can be taught from the womb. So if a parent can read to the child as they're in the womb, that'll be great too. So it's like from beginning,
from conception.
Yeah, from conception. I couldn't think of how to put the word right.
Yes, girl, that's why we're here to help.
Yes, from conception on.
Yes,
it's no limit to the age. It's for everyone.
That's awesome. Like that. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, that was awesome. That was really awesome.
Thank you.
All right. So as we are winding down the episode, we're not out of information here. We're just limited on time. Okay. We got to watch our time. So we are winding down this episode. So Danielle, darling, woo-wee. I want to tell you that I celebrate you. I celebrate you for who you are. I celebrate you for becoming an author, not knowing that you had it inside of you, because sometimes we don't even know what we have inside of us, but we have it. You have it. I want to celebrate you for all these things, and I want to celebrate you for where you're going, because you're going places. Not only in your physical sense, but in your mind, in your spirit, you're going places. And because you're going places, I want to celebrate you on those places that you didn't reach yet, because they're waiting for you. Sometimes we think that our stories belong to us, but it don't. Your story is for somebody else, and somebody is waiting for your story. So as you go through life, go on, bless somebody. Continue to bless somebody. Continue to be good to yourself. Continue to tell yourself that you are special. Continue to tell your daughter that she is special. Continue to just flourish and be the mature fruit. You are the fruit from your parents. You are the fruit from God. So continue to be that fruit. And as I always like to tell my guests, that right here is a chair. It's called a guest chair. Simply mean you are a part of this family. You are not a fan of this show. You are a family member. And since you are a family member, you are welcome to come here anytime that you want a little support. You want to bring back your book. You want to show off your book. You create something else. Come on back in here so we can stand with you. We oftentimes think that we are alone, but we're not really alone. We just need to ask for help. So when you do, just know that right here is your seat. It's right
Thank
here.
you.
So you're
Thank
welcome to have
you.
that. So
Thank you.
audience, oh my goodness, as we close down, I am going to bring our first guest back because we got a little throw off question here before we close the show. So I want to let me bring my first guest back because I want to celebrate both of you queens. I want to celebrate both of you, your goddess, your royalty, your goddesses, your royalty. You are made in the image of God. And because you are made in the image of God, you are creating things. You are co-creators of God. So as I send you off, I want to send you off in blessings, in prosperity, in strength, in courage, in acceptance of who you are, in love, that anywhere that you step, whether from the mind or physically, anywhere that you step, I send peace with you. I send joy with you, laughter with you. Be enveloped and know that God got you surrounded. Always acknowledge that. When you acknowledge God, God acknowledge you. When you're faithful to God, God is faithful to you. So no matter what you do, go ahead and be successful. All I ask for you to do, when you become successful in the eyes of what you call success, don't forget to come and pull somebody with you. This is a journey we all go on. And no one can succeed by themselves. So wherever you go in life and you define success, however you define success, always remember that you cannot do it by yourself. Pull someone on the journey with you. And that's all I ask here. You don't got to do it, but that's all I ask. That you get someone on the journey called life. If you need help, don't convince yourself that you're by yourself. Ask for help. Because we succeed better together. So I want to celebrate both of you. So before we close the show, here's an off question for both of you. So I am going to ask Danielle, since you came up last, I'm going to ask you first, your off question. This question got nothing to do with what you're doing, got nothing to do with disability, got nothing to do with nothing. It's just an off question. So your off question is, when you can't sleep at night, what is it that you do?
On TikTok. Scrolling on TikTok.
All right. All right. That's Danielle's answer. Now, let's go to Jessica. Jessica. What question can I ask of thee? Out of your entire family, who is the closest to you?
Oh, that's hard. Out of my whole family. If I had to pick,
Family, we are not trying to okay. We're not trying to take side with us. That's just a question.
if I have to pick, I would probably say my mom. I'm the closest to. We're a lot alike. We share a lot of interests. We do a lot of things together. We work together. We're just together a lot. And I mean, she's my mom, so she knows me better than anybody. But yeah, I would say I'm close to her. But a close second would be one of my sisters, Gabrielle. We're really close to, but it would be my mom.
Oh, okay. All right. Mom, that's it. Yes. And Gabriel, we are not taking sides, okay? But I mean, why would I not say my mom? I came from my mom. Why would I not say my mom anyway? All
Right,
right.
she's the closest to me physically and
Physically
emotionally.
and spiritually and the whole nine. So as we close down this episode, I can't say thank you enough. I say thank you from my heart, not even from my lips, from my heart, for you to come here and grace us with your lovely work and for the work that you're out there doing. Any last word as we say good night, good morning, good day, good life? Any last word, Jessica?
Well, just again, thank you so much for giving me this platform and to be exposed to Danielle. I want to read your book now, so I'm gonna go look for it myself. And yeah, just thank you and thank all of y'all for watching.
Danielle.
Basically the same thing Jessica just said. Thank you for having me. Thank you for this opportunity. And to Jessica, thank you. And I want your book as well. And to all of our guests and our listeners, thank you all for the support. And y'all just have a good night. Thank y'all.
Yes. And of course, the guest got to say our final piece. So, audience, guests, I want to say blessing, peace, and blessing go out to you for coming here every Thursday. If you're new, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please come back. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel so you can know when we go live. Okay, we don't want to leave you out on the YouTube land. Go and subscribe, hit the notification button, and you will know when we go live. You are now family. Whether you're a first timer or you're not, you are our family. So I want to send out blessing to all of you that show up here. Sheila, Brooklyn, Angela, Cheryl, Shy. I want to say thank you from my heart. It's people like you that let me show up every week. And when I show up every week, I don't show up for myself, I show up for you. So again, thank you so much, each and every one of you, for showing up here tonight. It might be morning for some people, but whatever it is, just remember, go out there and live a beautiful life. Laugh, write, love, live in peace, because we all need each other. Now, I hope to see you next week, same time, same place, as we continue our Child's Month celebration. Come on back. I look forward to see each and every one of you right here, same time, same place. Don't forget to share. Sharing is caring, they say. And I want to thank Total Entertainment Radio, who will air not this episode next week, but that picked up this show. I want to say thanks to them as I say, hey, we're in this together. See you on the next go around.